I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health and Wellness series, where we feature the top naturopathic physician in our country, if not the world. There he is, shirt about to bust open there from his biceps. Dr. Peter Glidden. Pete and I have been doing this series for coming up on 6 years. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from our listening audience. By the way, our listening audience, I want to thank you for having the tenacity to view us, because whenever Pete and I do, actually anything on my YouTube or Rebel channels, people don't get notifications. Our stuff, they try to make it evaporate in the internet blogosphere, so you don't know it's even out there. So I, one, would like to thank you for finding our content. Two, I hope you will then network it to your friends and families, because they won't be able to find it on the internet. And that's by design, because Pete and I empower you. We directly take on big pharma, big medicine, big insurance, the AMA, big government that wants to push for control of your health care and healthcare freedom. And we provide you platforms. For example, OperationFreedomHealth.com has some information there, free video Pete did on the 12 bad foods, and the products that we talk about. That because there's no sense giving you information about products and then saying, well, good luck trying to find them. No, we give you the resource so that you can benefit from our conversation immediately. Full disclosure, purchase of the products on OperationFreedomHealth.com does support this platform. And then there are Pete's websites. LeaveBigPharmaBehind.com, where Pete has tremendous amount of information. He also has a subscription service to the services he provides as a naturopathic physician. Of course, drglidden.com, but LeaveBigPharmaBehind.com and OperationFreedomHealth.com. Now, one of the things we've done because of Bidenomics and Kamalanomics working so well, I use that facetiously, and creating huge amounts of inflation, what we have done to try to help you is we have a 10% price reduction on the entire order at OperationFreedomHealth.com. The coupon code is FREEDOM. Today, Pete and I are going to discuss battling seasonal allergies with nutritional support. Now, why? Because we have had a large number of people contacting us saying, hey, look, this allergy thing is out of control right now, and my doc keeps trying to shove all these medicines on top of medicines on top of medicines at me, and they really aren't really helping. And I want to know if there's something from your side of the equation, from the nutritional support kind of side of the equation, that one, I can get rid of these meds, and two, it'll address my allergies that this other stuff is not doing. It's my honor to welcome back, by the way, also a great author. His books, Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, An Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine. Again, go to LeaveBigPharmaBehind.com, get more information on his fantastic books. It's my honor to welcome back Dr. Peter Glidden. Pete, welcome back.
David, we're still above ground.
Yeah. Well, for the moment.
Good thing. For the moment.
For the moment.
I just got kicked off of TikTok.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What brought that? Oh, that's what I love. That's what I love. That's what I love. Hey, real quick, you don't know about this, but day before, a couple days ago, I got notification from YouTube on a video that I posted May 1st, 2020. 4 years and whatever, 4 or 5 months ago. 4 years, 4 or 5 months. It was about Bill Gates. And I had a clip of Bill Gates talking about the healthcare industry. And I just played it. I got this notification that kicked my video off of YouTube after 4 years, 4 or 5 months. I'm like, what? And now YouTube will give you an indication. Here is, at this point in your videotape, is where you violated our community standards. Bad, bad, bad. Okay, so I'm the only one now who can see that video. Okay, nobody else can. So I go to it, and I look at it. And the precise 11 minutes and 35 seconds of the video, I started the clip of Bill Gates speaking.
And that's against the rules.
Because of what he said about commandeering the healthcare delivery system and all this kind of stuff. He was saying that. This is our plan. Okay? This is from like 10, 15 years ago. I got this clip. Somebody sent it to me. And I played. And they took down my video for what Bill Gates said himself. Not Dave Janda saying, well, this is what Bill Gates said. No. I played what Bill Gates himself saying about, taking control of the healthcare delivery system and all that kind of stuff. They threw that video off from 4 years ago with Bill Gates speaking, and that's what got the video kicked off. I mean, this is, so their censorship operation, Pete, just as you experienced with TikTok, people think, oh, that's so 2022 and 2023. That's over. No, it's in full go. It's in full go.
Does anybody know who owns TikTok?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, it surely isn't P Diddy, that's for sure.
Who owns P Diddy?
Well, that's a very good question, and I think it has a bunch of 3 letters around their names, who owns him and who runs him. Okay, let's talk about seasonal allergies and nutritional support and help people out.
Well, okay, so, we need not overlook the obvious here, but I can tell you exactly what to do and how to deal with it.
Excellent.
And right, we must have the proper perspective on it so that we can become empowered. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to just give somebody a fish. I want to teach somebody how to fish. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So the best way to understand this is that there's no such thing as medicine. And nobody in the world practices medicine. Mm-hmm. Medicine is like dogs. There's a lot of different types of dogs. Mm-hmm. They're all good for different things, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Bloodhounds, they're pretty good for finding lost people in the wilderness. Labrador retrievers are pretty good for duck hunting. Chihuahuas, I have no idea what they're good for.
Yapping.
But I can guarantee you that if you take a Chihuahua duck hunting, you're going to come back empty-handed because it's the wrong dog for the hunt.
Very true.
So, in the wonderful world of medicine, right, we have what you were trained in, allopathic MD medicine. Mm-hmm. We have what I was trained in, naturopathic ND medicine. Mm-hmm. There's homeopathic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, the oldest medicine on the planet, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, hands-on healing, botanical medicine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these are all different types of medicine with different strengths and different weaknesses. Mm-hmm. However, because of shenanigans that happened in this country at the turn of the century, and I'm talking the early 1900s, the medical marketplace was monopolized by the MD profession and the American Medical Association, and supported by the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, the robber barons of the day. Mm-hmm. So the only medicine that has been in the public view, and which is in fact held sway over a monopoly, we have been under the jack-booted heel of a medical monopoly since 1915. And this monopoly is so big that most people don't even realize it's a monopoly. And that's how big it is, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now remember, different dogs, different jobs, different strains. Mm-hmm. So medical doctors, MDs, your profession, the strength of the MD allopathic profession is trauma care, mm-hmm. military field medicine, mm-hmm. surgery when it's necessary. That was mm-hmm. your job. Mm-hmm. And to a lesser extent, the complications of childbirth. You need a C-section. Okay, let's go. And a lot of women died in childbirth before surgery was perfected. And that's Very a wonderful true. Thing. Mm-hmm. But for everything else, for all of the conditions that all of the people go to the medical doctor for all of the time, that don't need surgery, it's not a traumatic thing. The allopathic dog is the wrong dog for the hunt. Mm-hmm. Because the philosophy which informs the allopathic method mm-hmm. is based on a type of physics called reductionism. It's Newtonian physics, which is mechanistic. The body is a machine made of parts. And when something goes wrong with the body, the only possible thing to do to fix the body is, cut out the part that's broken or deliver a medicinal agent to the body. We're not really sure exactly how the medicinal agent acts, but nonetheless, the intention of the medicinal agent is to force the metabolism of the body in a way that the doctor thinks is best. And damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead. Who cares about the side effects, right?
Right.
Because, the body is a bag of biochemicals waiting to break. So just shut up and take your drug, because if the body could have fixed itself, it never would have gotten sick in the first place. And this is the method that informs the madness. And it's this method in the monopolistic, world is why we have a chronic health epidemic. It's because this method is inconsistent with natural law. It does not even attempt to cure the condition. It just pushes symptoms around with drugs, and then the underlying cause of the condition is never addressed.
That's right.
And then you suffer from the side effects of the drug. And we have become so enamored by this method that now when we see direct-to-consumer ads for prescription drugs on the TV, and, at the end of the ad, they read side effects.
Right.
Your leg falls off.
Yeah.
And death. And you go blind, and everybody's okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's insanity.
It is.
I mean, it's insanity because the root cause of the problem is never addressed. Because the mechanistic model is the wrong model to bring to bear when you are attempting to figure out what's causing chronic disease and how to freaking fix it. Now, it's interesting because every other system of medicine on planet Earth, well, with the exception of the osteopaths, because they're basically MDs now. After World War II, there's not really any difference between the training of an osteopathic doctor and an MD. Every other system of medicine teaches its practitioners to attempt to cure the condition. All right? So, and this leads to a saying that has kind of evolved over time in this world of medicine, that medical doctors are trained to diagnose illness. Holistic doctors are trained to diagnose a treatment. Because in point of fact, illnesses do not exist. And illness, like arthritis, for example, or heartburn, or, allergic nasopharyngitis, are terms that scientists have developed to make it easier for them to talk amongst themselves. But in point of fact, you can't treat arthritis. I mean, what are you going to do? Bring me a box of 50 arthritic shoulder joints and I'm going to treat that? You can't do that. Right? The diagnostic name is simply a name given to a set of symptoms which exists inside of a living human being. And from the holistic point of view, sometimes there are generic things that we can do in order to help the body to fix itself.
Right.
And everybody and their brother should do these things. I mean, everybody needs to drink water. Everybody needs to eat food. Everybody needs to put warm clothes on when they go out into sub-zero weather, right? There are some things medically that everybody needs to do in order to give their body a fighting chance to fix itself. And frequently, when a holistic physician is treating a person with a diagnosis, so the treatment needs to be individualized.
Right.
Because we don't treat disease, we treat people.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
Right. So it's important that we understand that moving forward here, that I'm going to talk about, hay fever and seasonal allergies. And there are some specific general things, just some general things that everybody can do and should do.
Umbrella type of thing.
Yep. And those are going to be effective about 83% of the time.
Okay.
17% of the time they're going to fail, and you're going to need a private appointment with someone like me in order to figure out what to do to push your body back into a state of balance individually. Right? And this is an entirely different paradigm, and it's a different way of looking at all things medical. And it's important that people start thinking about it like this, because there are not seasonal allergies. There are people with seasonal allergies. And there's a gigantic difference between those two things.
Got it.
Okay, so now the digestive tract of the human body is like a big tube. It's like a big pipe. It's like a hose. It starts at your mouth and ends at your rear end. It's a big hose, right? Sometimes it gets bigger and smaller. It's just one long hose. It goes your throat, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, your rectum, and that's it, right? And here's a fun fact to think about. When food or a substance is inside that tube, it's outside the body.
It's outside the body, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't get inside the body
Unless
until it absorbs through the tube into the bloodstream, and then it goes where the body wants it to go.
Right.
Now, here's another fun fact to know and tell. The immune system of your body, which everybody has heard about, which very few people have really any understanding of whatsoever, the immune system of the body has a central headquarters. And that central headquarters is the gut. It's in a network of blood vessels called the greater omentum and the lesser omentum, which lay on top and underneath the small intestine like two pancakes. It's like the border guard. And it's interesting, and it makes sense because, right, the small intestine, which is immediately after the stomach, and you've got about 11 feet of it, is where stuff that you have just swallowed gains entrance into the body. Right? It does that through the small intestine. So the small intestine is like the border guard. Right? You got to show them your passport. Well, not anymore. But it's the border guard in a healthy republic. It's the border guard, and you can't get in unless you got the proper credentials. Because of the way that people have been told they need to eat by the powers that be over the last 100 years, slowly over time, the integrity of the small intestine becomes compromised. And it's like punching holes in the fence between two countries, right? Now all of a sudden we don't have a secure border. So as the small intestine becomes slowly damaged over time through wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and oil in a bottle, and fried food, and the rest of the 12 bad foods people eat all the time unwittingly, it becomes easy for particles of food and other things that are hanging on to the food, like pesticides and herbicides and flame retardant chemicals and all kinds of nasty things, to sneak through the border and find, a home in the body somewhere.
Yeah, cause havoc.
Cause havoc, exactly correct. So when that happens, the immune system becomes overstimulated. Right? Because it's
doing its deal.
It's got to deal with bad stuff all the time.
Right.
Whereas before, not so much.
Right.
Now it's got to deal with it all the time. Now this situation is referred to clinically as a leaky gut. Right? So it's the best way to visualize it is a border between two countries that has holes in it, and the illegal immigrants are sneaking through the holes and causing havoc. Eating dogs and cats, for goodness sakes. Oh my God, it's bad.
Yeah, not good.
So when this situation happens, now the immune system, instead of being here, is up here.
Yep.
It's hyperactive, and it is a hyperactive immune system which causes
nutrition or allergic reactions. Yes.
100%. So here's another fun fact to know and tell. If you are suffering from allergies, then here's what you need to pay attention to. And this works 100% of the time. It's like never fail fudge. During allergy season, whatever that is, some people it's spring, some people it's summer,
fall,
some people it's autumn, right? Not a lot in wintertime.
No.
Sometimes, but not so much. When these times of the year that you become allergic are present, all you need to do is just be mindful, because there will be times of the day when your allergic symptoms spike. And you have an allergic attack, right? Okay. So whenever you have an allergic attack and your symptoms spike, the first thing you should think about is, what was the very last thing that I put in my mouth?
Oh, interesting.
What went down the hatch last? I don't care if it was a Tic Tac, right? Whatever it was that you drank or you ate immediately before you had the spike, and usually it's a delayed response. It's like 5, 10, 15 minutes delayed response. You'll get an allergy attack. And because it's a delayed response, your brain doesn't put 2 and 2 together until you start thinking about it. So it's easy. So everybody's got a smartphone now. So every time you get an allergy spike during the day, you make a note on your somewhere of the very last thing that you had to eat or drink, right? And then you do it next time you get a spike, you do the same thing. The third time you get a spike, you do the same thing. And by the third time,
you go, whoa, this is it.
There's going to be something on that list that was there every time.
Boy, that's interesting.
Yeah. So all you need to do then during allergy season is avoid eating that food or those foods. Just don't eat them. Because when you do eat them, they're going to make everything worse. Now, why was everything worse to begin with? Because you had the border was damaged.
Disrupted.
So we have to fix that. And, this is why it's called holistic medicine, because we don't just suppress the allergic symptoms. Right. With antihistamines, right? We don't just suppress the heartburn with proton pump inhibitors and antacids, right? That doesn't fix the problem. It just modifies the symptomology, medicates the symptoms, quite frankly. So how do we fix the gut? Well, you have to stop eating the 12 bad foods, because those were the foods that were punching the holes in the fence in the first place. You got to stop doing that. Right. I mean, if you take a hammer and you tap yourself on the back of the wrist lightly 3 times a day for a month, you're not going to be able to use your wrist after the 3rd week, even though it was just a little bit of stress every time, a little bit of stress.
Cumulative.
Cumulative, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So you have to stop eating those foods.
Got it.
Number 1. Number 2, you have to provide your body with the nutrients it needs to fix those tissues. And towards that end, there's a remarkably effective product. Luckily, it's the foundation of the Healthy Foundation Pack. It's a combination of nutritional supplements called Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It's got all kinds of good stuff in there that the gut needs in order to fix itself. And there was a university, I forget what it was off the top of my head. I should know.
Manitoba.
Was it Manitoba?
I think it was Manitoba, wasn't it?
Might have been. They did some in vitro studies with this supplement, and it was killing cancer cells left and right, gut cancer cells left and right. It was remarkably effective nutritive product for the digestive tract specifically. Now, this is called the Healthy Foundation Pack because, being holists, we are of the opinion that you should give the body everything that it needs, because everything's connected, not just an antihistamine, right? Or not just a bone and joint support, or not just stomach support, or not just, in this case, small intestine support. So the Foundation Pack, even though it will help the gut, also helps everything else comprehensively.
Universal.
Now, this is going to take about a year for you to completely get on the other side of the allergic condition, because the gut has to heal itself, and that ain't going to happen overnight. Might take 3 years, right? I mean, think it through. How old are you, and how many years have you been eating all the bad food?
Right.
So that kind of goes to how much damage has been done that you now have to recover from. So
right.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? Okay. So now we've eliminated the 12 bad foods. We're taking the foundation pack, giving the body the stuff that it needs to fix itself. Everything is good. Until that happens, you're still
vulnerable.
Yeah, and you're still symptomatic. And having allergies sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really bad. And I grew up in New England, and I went to medical school in the Pacific Northwest. I never had allergies until I went to the Pacific Northwest. And every June and July, I was the poster child for seasonal allergies. I mean, man, red eyes. It was horrible, man. It was really, really, really bad. And I'm in naturopathic medical school, right? People are telling me it's your diet, it's your diet, it's your diet. I'm telling you, you're nuts, you're nuts, you're nuts. It's got nothing to do with it, blah, blah, blah. It was my diet.
So it wasn't that you were allergic to pine trees. No, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, because I'm sure they were saying that. Well, you know, we have a certain type of pine tree here, and you didn't have that in Massachusetts, Pete Glidden. So this is why the allergies you're experiencing are from pine trees.
No, it was not that. My problem was sugar. If I had anything sweet, within 15 minutes, I was extremely symptomatic. And the worst of all was ice cream.
Really?
It was a combination of cow's milk and sugar. Was like,
trouble.
You know, like really bad trouble.
So 12 bad foods, eliminate them. Enhance your gut health foundation pack. And that's on our site, OperationFreedomHealth Foundation pack. You're doing that, and then you're keeping a log. Oh, geez, man, I had this terrible reaction at 10 o'clock at night. And who'd think that this ragweed and pollen would get me at 10 o'clock at night, right? But it did. I mean, that's what it is. Because I've been told that I'm allergic to ragweed and pollen. Well, it just so happens that, like in Pete's case, I had ice cream.
Right.
And, excuse me, and wow, I had that on my note. And then, but I really like ice cream, so we're just going to kind of pass over that. And then it happens again down the line and go, oh, wait, the last thing I ate was ice cream.
Yeah, that's how it is. And it's a mind opener for most people. And it can be.
But it's the pine tree.
It can be an organic carrot grown by a Trappist monk, harvested under a full moon while they're chanting. It can be anything at all in the world, and it will show up if you're mindful of it.
But you got to keep a record.
Yeah, because your brain doesn't work like that.
No, well, and many times it doesn't want to because, like in your case, right? Ice cream. Pete likes ice cream. It can't be that.
You are absolutely right.
It can't be that.
Pride kills us all.
Why the last 5 times when I had ice cream did my allergies kick up? Because I'm allergic to pine trees. Right?
Exactly 100% correct. Okay, now we've got those bases covered. We're still in the thick of it because our body hasn't healed from it. So during allergy season, there's 2 things you can add to the foundation pack that will help a great deal.
What's that?
One of them is called Cell Shield RTQ.
Cell Shield RTQ. And if you put that in the little search thing on OperationFreedomHealth.com, it'll come up. Okay, Cell Shield RTQ. Go ahead.
And RTQ is an acronym for resveratrol, turmeric, and quercetin.
Oh, 3 of my favorites.
All of which dampen down the histamine response generated from the allergic stimulation. Right? So it's like putting a warm coat on when you go out in the cold weather.
Right.
You're not going to be affected by it as much if you didn't do that. And the next thing is a Good Herbs product called Good Herbs Sinus and Allergy Support. I would get 2 bottles of that a month. I would do 2 mLs. No, I'd do 4 mLs twice a day, 4 mLs twice a day of the Good Herbs Sinus and Allergy Support.
During allergy season, when you're having
during the season, yeah, only. right? This will help to mitigate the symptoms so that you don't lose your freaking mind while the body's healing itself, which could take 2-3 years.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
Right. So in the Cell Shield RTQ, if you're under 100 pounds, I would do 1 capsule 3 times a day with food. If you're between 100 and 200 pounds, I would do 2 capsules twice a day with food. If you're over 200 pounds, I would do 2 caps 3 times a day with food.
A question, Pete. I've had a couple of people the past couple of weeks say, okay, I just found out I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Just found out I'm pregnant.
Yep.
So avoiding the 12 bad foods is not a problem.
Right.
But what about the foundation pack and someone being pregnant?
Well, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take the foundation pack while you're pregnant,
Yeah.
the high chances are your kid's going to be sick.
Oh. So
the
as
foundation pack it should be mandatory. It should be mandatory. As a matter of fact, what should be mandatory is that 3 months before a woman even thinks about getting pregnant,
Yeah.
she should start the foundation pack so that when she is pregnant, her body is saturated with the essential nutrients.
Right. Right.
Because at different days during the 9-month of gestation period, this gene is switched on for the eye development.
Right,
this
right.
gene is switched on for the tongue development, right? And
Yeah.
you need nutrients
Mm-hmm.
present at that moment in time to
Yes.
handle that.
Yes. Yes.
100% of birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the blood of the pregnant mother, which is the obstetrician's fault. It's not the mother's fault.
No.
So the foundation pack will help the pregnant mother and will dramatically help the health of the child. There is no harm and no foul here whatsoever.
Okay.
Same with the Cell Shield RTQ, that's good, and the sinus and allergy support, that's also good. There's no worries there.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, and there's a handful of, over the last, 25 years, there's been a handful of, well, first of all, there are hundreds, maybe more, maybe thousands by now, but I don't crunch those numbers, of women who couldn't get pregnant. They just couldn't get pregnant. Then they start the Healthy Foundation Pack, they change the diet, and they get pregnant. Why? Because here's how many nutrients your body needs.
Yep.
Here's how many nutrients it has.
Yep.
The body knows that if you get pregnant, it ain't going to work.
Right, because you can't take on another. You can't take on a.
Can't do it.
Yeah. No.
The body's smart. So it will prevent the woman from getting pregnant. And it's not because you don't have $20,000 of in vitro fertilization drugs in you. It's because you were nutritionally deficient. And here's another little dirty secret of the in vitro fertilization world. There was a relatively new thing about 20 years ago. IVF came of age. Right?
Yeah.
So now we're finding that the majority of the kids who were born with IVF,
Yeah.
once they become teenagers,
Yeah.
they're really sick.
They get sick.
They get a lot of things. A lot of things start to go bad. Why? Because the body didn't want to. The body knew that it didn't have the nutrients necessary to have a healthy child. But
so
that
it deprived
was
them.
forced by the drugs. It was forced by the drugs to do it.
Yeah.
So you have basically, an unhealthy little human being, and it's only a matter of time until the other shoe drops and something bad happens. But,
so that brings me to kids.
Yeah.
So kids, foundation pack?
Yeah. And this is where I was going with this line of thought, right? Over the years, there have been just a handful of people who have really understood this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mothers.
Yeah.
So they follow the advice. They start taking the foundation pack before they get pregnant.
Yeah. Take it during.
Take it during.
Take it after.
And then they give it to the kids once the kids are done breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So the kids have been nutrified there since day one of conception.
Yeah.
Those kids.
Yeah.
like way ahead of their peers intellectual development, way ahead of their peers physical development, way ahead of their peers emotional development. I mean, they're like optimal little human beings. And it's remarkable to watch. So there's no downsides to it whatsoever.
No downside.
If I was the king of the world, it would in fact be mandatory.
Well, and you talk about wiping out chronic disease, bing bang bong, that's it right there, buddy.
Well, that's it in a nutshell.
You don't have to get all fancy.
No, you really
No, you
don't.
really don't. You really don't.
See, but this is the problem, that Bobby Kennedy
Yeah, I know.
is inside of that paradigm.
Yeah.
And you cannot fix the medical system from inside of this paradigm. It needs to be a completely new paradigm. And what will generate that? A free medical market. That's the Zen sword. And by free medical market, I don't mean medicine is free.
No, no.
I mean naturopathic doctors, homeopathic doctors, botanical medicine, acupuncture. Everybody has the same seat at the table.
Equal opportunity. Equal opportunity. Equal opportunity.
No more jackbooted FDA thuggery, which is basically what it's been for over 100 years.
It has.
Right?
Pete, I'd like to thank you for all that you have done. Not just today, actually, but every day. Every day for decades. No, I mean it. I'm very sincere with this.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't been easy, David, I'll tell you that.
No, I know. I get it. I get it. It hasn't been. But I thank you for your perseverance, dedication, and sacrifice. And one of the single greatest gifts, folks, you can give to people is what we just talked about. This video. This video. Because I can assure you, your friends and families will not find this on the internet. And now, if we were talking about big pharma products, how great the medical industrial complex was, oh my gosh, it would be everywhere, right? But this they'll hide and suppress because it empowers you and it tells you what you need to know. And it's not whatever you want to call them, globalist cult powers that be, I don't care. It's what they don't want you to know. Because the truth of the matter is they want you sick. Because that way you use their sick-based system. And they get more money. Because that's all they care about. I thank you, Dr. Peter Glidden. LeaveBigPharmaBehind.com. His books, Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, An Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine. The products, the further information is also available at OperationFreedomHealth.com. And remember, discount code, if you do go there, is FREEDOM. You get 10% off on your entire order. Until next time, Dave Janda and Dr. Peter Glidden signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.